time has come. You are tired of being outranged by your friends with their super crazy modified blasters, but you yourself have no skill, little money, but you definitely want a blaster that will hit relatively hard and be really easy to use and require almost no effort to put together. I've got a treat for you because I believe I have found the cheapest, easiest pistol to make in the entire hobby that will guarantee to get you some really good performance, and you basically don't have to do anything. I know, some bold claims, but bear with me, I actually have found the answer to this. And it's not this pistol right here, but this is a modified Falcon fire, a very nice one. You can see the brass in there and everything. Like, this thing has been absolutely modified about as much as a Falcon fire can do. It will only accept short length darts. And yeah, it hits absolutely stupidly hard. Again, for a Falcon fire at least. And yet, that took a lot of effort to load, prime, do all that crazy stuff. This took a ton of effort to make. And while it does look cool and it's extremely comfortable and really usable, I have a blaster that's way easier than this. So this blaster will cost you a little bit of money because the internals come from a completely different blaster. But once you buy that blaster, you really don't need a whole lot more. You'll need a barrel. In this case, you're gonna be using 9/16 brass. You're gonna probably want something to cut the brass. I would recommend something like this. You can usually get something similar to this for anywhere from $5 to $10. A really useful tool to have. This will cut brass and do all sorts of crazy cool things. And that's it, and something to use for a trigger. And I know all of a sudden that kind of raises all sorts of alarms. Like, what do you mean something to use as a trigger? Well, I recommend just using an Allen key. Now, this is the bare bones of this. This is the minimal amount of effort you could possibly use on a blaster. This is not an end product, although it is able to be used as such. There's your blaster. Everything you see in front of you, oh, and a little bit of electrical tape. Everything you see in front of you is the blaster. This is it. Allow me to demonstrate. Prime, it will of course use half lengths or full lengths, doesn't matter. Put that in there, take your Allen key, put it in there, you got yourself a little grip right there with a little trigger, and yeah. I can't make a blaster any more simply than that. So, obviously, what the heck's going on here? What is the whole entire mechanism of this? Which is this thing, which is, you might have guessed it, the plunger tube to the skid shot blaster. Now, you can find the skid shot blaster at Target, Walmart, various places online for around $20. Kind of expensive to pay for a pistol, but again, when you see the performance this thing gets, I mean, you kind of can guess by that shot right there, it's not a lot. It's basically nothing. You're not going to be able to get a similar performing pistol for that least amount of effort. The only thing I can think that even comes close is like the Boomco M6 pistol or Far Shot pistol with like K26 in it. You can build one of those for around $20, but a lot of people have problems with them, and those are stuck using Boomco darts. This isn't. This will shoot full lengths or half lengths or whatever you can fit in this barrel. This is 9/16 brass. It is about a foot. In fact, I think it's exactly a foot. And I have not optimized the barrel at all. This blaster could actually perform better. I have no clue. All I've done is put some tightening rings on it, which you do by basically going to cut the brass, except for you don't actually cut through it. You just indent the brass. I put about 5 of them on here, and that grips the dart. So you'll notice like the dart goes in there and then it stops. This isn't like 17/32 brass. I could get better performance with 17/32 brass, but just using this tightening ring system, really quick to load, doesn't take a lot of effort whatsoever. And then you just use this rod to prime your skid shot plunger tube, because this is a self-contained system. The catch and everything's in here, it's all solvent welded together. You really can't break this by any means. You just pull this out of the blaster, and then something to prime it back, and it will catch. And then the electrical tape right here, just enough of it to make a rather simple connection right there. It won't come out very easily, although if I twist it, it'll pop out no problem whatsoever. And then you need a trigger system. The catch on this is actually it's just straight back. It's a wedge shape. If you had a trigger, you could make one, you could make a grip, you could do all sorts of cool stuff with it. But for basic stuff, bam, done. I can run around like this, do whatever I want, and when I want to take my shot, I just pull back the Allen key like it's a trigger. Boom. And you might be wondering, how well does something like this perform? Alright, so these numbers are going to be using brand new Adventure Force darts, since those are kind of my favorites right now. And they're the only ones I have, like, brand new ones of, so let's take one shot. 144. 142. 144 again. It is amazingly consistent. 139. 141. 139. 143. 138. So again, this is not the optimal setup. This is just the laziest possible way I could get this thing to be shooting a dart. And oh my god, the potential here is absolutely insane. This could probably be a 200 FPS pistol with the proper barrel and the proper darts. So as you can see, this system is stupid. It's not optimized by any means, but we're talking a $3 piece of brass, internals from a $20 blaster, possibly way cheaper if you can find one on sale, or you already had one, or you have a broken one or something like that, and maybe something in it doesn't work. Maybe you found a return that doesn't work, but as long as it still catches and fires, you got something to work with. And then of course, an Allen key, which should be free, or anything. Anything can work as the trigger as long as it will fit in there. You could use an oversized screw. It really doesn't matter. And that's it. You have yourself a 150 FPS pistol for basically no effort whatsoever. Now, how would I make this better, you may be asking? Well, the obvious use for something like this, which is a mod you will see relatively soon, is building a grip and a trigger onto this and making it basically look like the Welrod Pistol. So the Welrod Pistol is a pistol, it's a bolt action pistol, but it's not meant to look like a pistol. It's a clandestine operations kind of weapon. You use it as a covert thing, like you basically pretend it's not a weapon to sneak it through, and then you put it together and it will be virtually silent up to anyone who's within, you know, outside of a 15-foot range, and it will kill people. This is, it doesn't look like a blaster right now. Not that that's useful to us, but it does not look like a blaster, and the idea of having some kind of, you know, cutting this down to that, having a little folding grip or some kind of grip that you can stick on there with a trigger, and having that all in one complete package sounds absolutely awesome to me, and it's something I've wanted to do, but I can't sit on this treasure any longer. This is the coolest thing I have figured out in quite some time. And honestly, I don't know if it's worth like using 1732 brass for the tighter fit on the dart to get more performance, but lose out on that reload speed, because as this goes right now, it's honestly not that hard to reload and get working. You just basically drop the dart in there and you could just reload over and over again. Like, it's not as fast as some things could be, but there are definitely way slower blasters, and it's fun. That's probably the most important thing as well. This blaster is so much fun to use because there's really not a whole lot like it. To load a blaster kind of like you're loading some kind of old-timey rifle by shoving something down into it. It works now. Drop a dart in there. Friction fit. And then you're good to go. Place the cap and yeah, there, boom. That's so much fun. This is, without a doubt, a new generation of blasters for a lot of people. You could use air blasters and hit some really ridiculous performance, but not everybody can do like, an AR removal thing on a Gobzooka. This, stupid easy. And it's a Springer. So yeah, the downsides of this, of course, is that if you actually want to make this any better, like replace a spring or anything in it, this is all solvent welded together. So you would have to break the solvent welds at the front, which is quite a deep amount of solvent weld to break. and then change out the spring and everything like that, but it's basically the oversized mechanism to a Kronos, but as this. So, yeah, this is the single coolest thing I have ever figured out. And this is just by chance because Super Vaporeon sent me the internals to a skin shop because he tried to mod it and it broke, and I took one look at this and went, oh, that's a blaster waiting to happen. And it was, in fact, a blaster waiting to happen. I, of course, going to mod this in the future. Probably not anything internally, but mostly cosmetically to make this a better, functional, more comfortable blaster. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you are excited about this, if you already knew about it or not, and most importantly, if you do mod one, I want to see what you do so I can shamelessly rip it off in the future if for some reason my mod does not pan out. But otherwise, this has been Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one. And this is pretty freaking different.
You gotta